everyone, Dream Sword here. Real quick, there's going to be a little bit of a preamble before we get into the meat of this video, so if you don't want to hear me yap for a decent amount of time, you can skip to the timestamp I'm putting on screen now, if you want to just get to the meat of this video, which is the challenge run I'm doing for this. But anyway, hi, I'm Dream Sword, and I really like acceleration machines, as you can see here. Now, acceleration machines in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds are not good. No. Even at the time that I'm recording this, they still have not gotten buffed. Even with a new balance patch. Literally, like, a couple hours from now. We got the patch notes just recently, and there is no Accel machine buff in sight, sadly. But they're really cool cars. I love the way they look. I like how they drive. And I got to thinking, with how bad they are, can we go into time trial and get all S ranks with an Accel car? Because most time trial videos you see are all about using speed machines or boost machines or handling machines. I've even seen some power ones too. But you never see Accel, and that's for good reason. It's because they all suck. They have the worst boost and handling, I believe, out of every car type. And those are both very important stats, and their speed's also not great either. So even if you want to just, like, jack the heck out of a speed car and then drive in a straight line, very popular strategy, can't really do that either. So yeah, I just wanted to see, for me and people like me, all 5 of us, is it possible to get S ranks in the time trials with an Accel car? And originally I was actually going to wait until we had all the DLC courses, because at the time of this, we still don't have Grand Prix 2, or Crossover Grand Prix 2. And I was originally going to wait until we had all the courses and then just do them all in one go here. But then a certain somebody, I'll put a screenshot of their video on screen, announced that he was going to do an idea similar to this one, and I was like, well, dang. Now I kind of have to put this video out there, so that way no one accuses me of ripping him off. So, thanks for that. Anyway, this video is also going to be an experiment of mine, because I'm going to try and mostly do it live. I'm working on my live talking skills, as it were, when it comes to videos and stuff for future projects. And I figured this would be a decent way to do it. That said, that's not to say there won't be any editing in this video. There will be probably a few minor edits here and there, especially if I flub over my words or what have you. But, yeah, for the most part, this is going to be live. So, this is to not only prove that, yes, it is possible. As you can see, even on supersonic speed, I've got some S's. But, also to help out casual players, because, hey, you know, I'm a casual too. And I wanted to give people some genuine advice, because I noticed too, a lot of videos out there, they'll show you how they got it, but they won't really tell you the key to it, you know, and that's why I wanted to make this version with the commentary over it. But if you don't want to hear me yap at all, there will also be a version without commentary, so if it's not up already. But before we get started, I'm going to be showing this not live via me driving. I'm going to be doing it via replays. And silly me, I did not know that ghost data can sometimes wig the heck out, which is another reason why I want to do a live commentary track over some of these. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And hopefully you will find this commentary helpful and upfront, in case I forget to say it at any other point. If at some point during this I make a mistake, like I give some advice that's actually not valid for some of these tracks, hey, by all means, correct me in the comments, and we're all here to help each other out. So you might be thinking, hey, what's the optimal way? Well, I can't tell you what's the best Accel car. Just choose whatever one you think is best. I would assume most people would go with something like probably Hyper Scorpion, because of how it's got the best boost, and that's also important, and its handling isn't the absolute worst. But I'm just going to be using my own custom car for this. If you want to copy my build, go for it. I will not hold it against you. And as for character, well, I mean, I just use Silver because he's my favorite Sonic character. So I was going to use him regardless. But I couldn't tell you what's the quote-unquote best, to be honest. I guess just go with either a handling character or a boost character, so Miku or Whisper, right? Since boost and handling are the big weaknesses of Accel Cars. So I guess in an attempt to maybe mitigate those slightly, you know? But it's your call at the end of the day, just use who you like. It's possible with any character, I think. So yeah. Now then, sorry about that delay. Now, without further ado, let's get into E-Stadium. So you might think, hey, this is the beginner baby course, right? Nothing bad could go wrong here. No, this one's actually pretty freaking hard, and the key to success here is actually runoff bounty. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start off here grabbing this Wisp, and you're going to want to maximize the amount of rings you get off of this runoff. You need at least 80. I managed to get 85 here. Very good. And you're going to want to, and the goal here is to just get 100 rings as quick as possible. That is absolutely what you want to do. So grab this Wisp here, and I don't know why, right path is fastest. I've tested it all. Don't ask me why it is, it just is. And now you're going to want to hang on the inner corners as much as humanly possible. So yeah, just do the best you can with drifts, and we're going to hang on to these Wisps until lap 2. Because there's 2 very important cuts in this, and we already showed you one, and it's really right here at the start, where you cut across this corner. So yeah, use another Wisp here to cut across. Very tight turn. And there you go, that's the biggest corner cut of the track done. So now what we do is, I don't think it matters too much over which cut you use this next Wisp on, but I decided to use it on this one right here. It worked for me. I don't know if the one at the very end of the track is technically faster, but hey, this is what worked for me. If if the other corner cut's more optimal, hey, you know, cool, go for it. So now, we're left without Wisp, so what do we do? Well, thankfully, we got this crystal box here that we can grab. So let's do that. Very important, hit all of these boosts, and with the level 3 boost pad, you can cut across the grass. And now we're just gonna go as quick as we can over here, and now the warp ring shortcut will have opened up during lap 3, and we definitely want to take that. That saves, like, gosh, like I think 3 seconds of time or something like that. So you want to take it, ride on through, and now you definitely will be using this Royal Wisp here for the final cut right at the end. So just boost across, hit every single boost pad you can, and bam, just barely make it. Yeah, no, E-Stadium is deceptively tough. It will test you, especially if you're like me and you're relatively new to the game when you start this challenge run. So, moving on. Rainbow Garden. This one's actually really easy. So, this one, I don't really know if there's quote-unquote an optimal build, but, you know, for all these replays, I have my build off to the left there on display. Right now, we're going to prioritize getting rings. And this is the reason why I have a Dash Panel Mini Bounty equipped, because if you go through the center rings here, you get double the rings. And a fun little trick here, boost into these gates as you're descending a little bit faster. Although, from what I understand, just keeping your charge and then running through them also works. But anyway, we're going to hang on to the Wisp right now. So, collect this one here too. Alright. And now a little tip here for those who have trouble getting this cut. If you land on these flowers and then start drifting, it makes the turn a lot easier. But yeah, that cut there is, I believe, the biggest time save on the course. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So, now, second verse, same as the first, pretty much. We're saving that Wisp at the start for the very end since it's so easy to get. You technically don't have to, but it's just something I like to do on most of these tracks. I find it a lot easier that way. A lot more stress-free. Alright, grab this Wisp here now. And yeah. By the way, Ring Gang Boost and Ring Gang Mini Boost stacked is what I like to run for most tracks. Keyword most. I'll be sure to point out exceptions as we go along. But yeah, again, land on the flowers, drift across here, boost on through. I also have a level 2 quick charge equipped whenever I can, due to a very specific quirk that Accel Cars have, which is, did you guys know that they technically have the best level 2 boost in the game? Really weird quirk, but they do. Thanks. I'll put a screen cap of the YouTuber who discovered that over this editing me. Please do that. But yeah, shoutouts to him. Fast Clingy, I believe his name was. Anyway, new route opens up on lap 3, so we go through. And now we have these two Wisps do what we want. We can cut across here. And just like with the other 2 laps, we're saving the last Wisp for this cut. And there we go with that. We've basically secured the time as long as we hit all of these dash panels. And yeah, as you can tell, I didn't take that last turn the cleanest, but still was enough to have a time save to get me the S rank. And I believe I've said it before, but yeah, no. Ghost Data also doesn't display what rank you got at the end of each replay, unfortunately. So this is also a reason I want to do the live commentary. All right, Water Palace. This is where things kind of get switched up. And as you can see right here with my build, we definitely want Drift Kit here for a very good reason, as you'll soon see. And I will say this. I am not a snaker. I don't like snaking. I have nothing against people who do it. But unfortunately, it's something you're going to have to kind of mildly do for some of these tracks. And this one, I believe, is not an exception to that rule, unfortunately, which is why we have Drift Kit equipped. So we're going to start with, again, prioritizing ring gain. You probably could afford to grab the Wisp there and just get the line of rings instead, but again, I wanted to play it safe. And now here, when it comes to water sections, you can technically get fine by spamming level 2 boosts over and over again, but me, I like to kind of play it safe. And I save my boosts for specific moments, like right here, for example. Which I technically did inoptimally, as I've discovered, but I'll talk about that another time. Anyway, that's the most important cut there, as you might see. And that's what I mean by mini-snaking. Even just getting that one boost there saves a great amount of time and is basically necessary for getting the S on an Accel car. And also, too, you can pull off level 3 drifts a lot easier with the boost kit, which very, very helpful for time trial. So, again, as with most of these courses, lap 2 is pretty much the same as lap 1. You're just grabbing the boost you passed up last time. And also, since we don't have to prioritize ring gain as much, staying on inner corners, very, very important. Staying on inner corners saves you a lot of time in CrossWorlds, in general. And heck, now that we have the Wisp, that ramp might be a time loss, actually. I'm not sure. Someone tell me, please. But yeah, again, right here, it's the most obvious and most important shortcut in this track. Just Wisp right across it. And we do our one little drift boost here. And now for lap 3, not too different from the other 2 laps. You just have more dash panels, pretty much. So, you know, just be sure to hit those whenever you possibly can. Because as I've discovered, repeatedly hitting dash panels does stack, even when you're in a boost state. It helps out quite a bit. And that includes those dash gates there. And as you can see, yeah, the ghost state is kind of wigging out. I think it has to do with how much speed you're doing. So I tried to go for the Royal Wisp here, but I seriously screwed up my jump and I missed it. But I was making good time and I went, screw it, let's see if I can make it anyway. And to my surprise, I actually could. That said, you absolutely do want that Royal Wisp to optimize your time. But it's good to know that you don't necessarily need it, you know?
No time like the present.
So yeah, that's Water Palace. Alright. Now, Metal Harbor. Shoutouts to my friend Alex, who had serious trouble with this one. This one you gotta go kind of slightly unconventional, because turns out air tricks are surprisingly important on this track. So let's show off what I mean by that. Because I found the key to this one to be air trick bounty and air trick expert. So again, start off by prioritizing getting 100 rings as soon as possible. You want that on pretty much every single course, with only, like, I think 2 exceptions. That's also why we're taking the right path first, to get this line of rings. And as you can see, with Air Trick Expert, we can get maximum air boosts, or air trick boosts, pretty easily. And even where we can't, we can get a level 2 boost where level 1 is normally possible. Major time save. It makes me wonder if I could maybe substitute out mini ring game boost for Air Trick Expert. Anyway, very important shortcut. You basically need to take this shortcut all 3 laps, no exceptions. It is very hard. I'm not going to tell you it's not, but with a little practice, you can get it. And then, of course, for this final straightaway, that's when I decide to use the Wisp. There might be another area where it's more optimal, but that's one of the 2 spots here where I prioritize it. The other being right here, which is the plane path, which is technically faster. Just boost right on through as soon as you get to it. Grab that Wisp on the way. And now with that, the rest of the course is pretty much the same as lap 1. Stay on your inner corners, and right path here is the faster path. I don't exactly know why, but it is. But yeah, you have to drift at a really specific angle when it comes to this shortcut, and you have to keep an eye out for that robot. He will screw you super badly when doing this. Even taking that shortcut suboptimally, like how you saw I bumped the wall there earlier, is faster than just taking the upper route. The upper route kills a lot of time. So, alright. Lap 3. The only major difference being towards the end. But as per before, we boost across. That's a little trick I like to do on a lot of these tracks because as an Accel car, your handling is not the best, and that includes when you're in plane mode. And it can be kind of annoying to deal with. Alright, grab another Wisp. Here we are in the epic jump. And we're going to take this shortcut one last time. Once again, look out for that robot. Oh, stuck the landing. Drift over here, over the ramp as per usual. And then just boost across. I technically took that last jump suboptimally because I should have hit more of the boost pads, but hey, it was enough to get that S rank. Alright, next up, Sand Road. This is another one that's tricky for some people. So, fun fact, actually, this is also where Off-Road Bounty comes in great handy, and level 2 Drift Boost. This strategy is not too different from the one in Supersonic Speed, mind you, but that's for another. So, alright, the strat here, we want to get our rings near max as quick as we can, so grab this Wisp. Thanks to Off-Road Bounty, we can drift on over here, grab a crap ton of rings. And now, fun fact, the fastest route for this split, drift up here and then just fall down onto this path. It's way faster than committing yourself to either of the paths by themselves. We're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that Wisp for now to get the final bit of rings we need. And now here, it's all about just kind of driving good. Grab the Wisp over here. And now, fun fact, during my recording of this, I did not know this, but there is actually an optimal one of these cuts. Now, I thought it was the final one there that I just drove past, but it turns out it actually isn't. I'll talk about that later, but for now, we're going to hold on to the Wisp. And now we just drive through this like normal. once again, drift over here, go to the upper path, and then just fall down safely onto the bottom one. Try not to bump any walls. That will kill a lot of time. And now we definitely want to grab this wisp at this time, because we accidentally passed it up the first time. So keep going. Now, the fastest cut in Sand Road is actually right here. This one. This actually saves the most amount of time out of all of them. And I actually thought it was this one right here that does it, but no. Turns out it's the one before that. So if you have to choose between one or the other, go for the one before. So now we're out of wisps. So what do? Well, thankfully, with the path that opens up in lap 3, that's not really going to be an issue. But for now, again, same as before. Go on over here, go to this new path. And here's where I kind of do this suboptimally. We grab this, right? But I actually take the longer route here. Despite the dash gate being there, it's actually a lot quicker to just stay on the inner ring and just drive alongside. Anyway, go over here again. Aim yourself for the Royal Wisp right here. Grab it. And now it's home free for the rest of the course. And bam, there's Sand Road. Again, I did it a little suboptimally, just like with a few other tracks, but I think it's kind of a boost here because it shows that there is a little leeway with some of these S ranks. Not a whole lot, but some. Alright, next, Colorful Mall. This is a fun one. Although it can take some figuring out. We got our good friend the Drift Boost kit back. So, you know what that means. So, Colorful Mall, as you might have guessed by the course itself and the way it's structured, pathing. Pathing is ultra important here. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, getting those drift boosts off is big. Especially those level 2s that we know and love with Accel Cars. Or level 3s if you can get them, like right here. But, it's all about knowing which path is the fastest and doing your best to optimize that. So it's actually much quicker to just go here. Like staying leveled with the ground, not going on the upper paths too much, with the exception of right here, where you start drifting, go into the boost gate, fly over here, and then fall down onto the ground. So that way you're level with the shortcut, and you can take it the easiest. And then, of course, get your one little extra drift boost off. Again, you might not think it, but saves a good amount of time. And I'm probably even doing that unoptimally. I'm sure a lot of pros who are, like, really into snaking are yelling at me right now after watching this. But, hey, it got me through it, so maybe it'll help someone else out there. Again, trying to do this as least expert skill-free as possible. So, once again, taking the path up here. Getting into that dash ring. And then just trying to line myself up. Grab the wisp here. Fun fact about that shortcut, by the way. Did you know that that's not actually rough terrain that's blocking you? It's literally just the tables. So if you have, in the normal game, if you have like a Void Wisp, you can get through it pretty easily, actually. Because the Void Wisp will actually eat all the tables and you can just drive through. It's pretty neat. But, anywho. Lap 3, you might think, hey, a new pathway opens up on lap 3. We probably go there, right? No. No, you don't. This is one of the times you absolutely do not do that. You want to stick to the tire and true method. So once again, up here. Get this ring. Keep on drifting. Fall on down, get that level 3 boost. And then boost on through. And then level 3 drift release here and hit all these dash panels. And you can just barely make it, assuming you're copying me.
No time like the present.
Alright. Let's do a small change of pace. Let's go to some CrossWorlds. Let's go with Sky Road. Of all the courses in this, or at least for the Sky Road specifically, I think Sky Road is probably the most free, on Sonic speed, specifically. You'll see why. So I just ran my usual kit here. Dash panel bounty and then level 2 drift boost with the ring gains. But yeah, Sky Road's actually easy peasy on Sonic Speed. I didn't even take the main shortcut in this one, and I still got the S rank. You can kind of just drive through it normally, and you're good. So I don't know how much my commentary will really help here, but I will try.
Let's go!
But yeah, you absolutely want to grab the free Wisp right there. Go on through the middle of those dash gates as much as you can. And we're once again prioritizing rings, so we're going to ignore that Wisp for right now.
Let's go!
It's all about just getting yourself to max rings, which should be route right here, and then you're good. Now here, technically speaking, from what I understand, taking that bounce is actually slower than just driving. But, I mean, it's cool and fun, so I just do it anyway. And plus, again, you can get the S rank even when doing it, so hey, why not? Unless you're going for like a top 100 time or something.
Let's go!
Anyway, you basically do the same thing on all 3 laps.
Let's go!
Fun fact, by the way, did you know that going through the exact middle of a dash gate, or boost gate, whatever they're properly called, gets you not only more rings if you've got the bounty equipped, but also makes you go faster? Little tip for you if you didn't know. So once again, bouncing across. This time we're going to grab the Wisp since we forgot to last time. So the reason I boost here before this ramp is so that way I don't accidentally overshoot the balloon, because that happens sometimes. And I've noticed that when you're Wisp boosted, it doesn't happen nearly as often. Maybe that's a suboptimal place to use the Wisp boost, I don't know, but it's just what worked for me, so I just kept doing it. Alright, so yeah, like I said, no different for lap 3. With the poor handling our Accel car has, we cannot afford to take that shortcut that we just passed. So we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing. One last boost. And then we just drive on home. And that's Sky Road.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, so next, another free one actually, Roulette Road. This is another one where you can kind of just drive it normally and you're good. Well, for the most part. This is also one, though, that I think I did suboptimally. And I'll try to talk a little bit about it as we go. But yeah, I have ring range up equipped. I don't think you need that for this one. So thinking about it, I don't know why I had it equipped, actually. Well, whatever. Probably Air Trick Bounty would be better in this one, maybe, possibly. I don't know, give me ideas, guys. Anyway, grab the rings here. You're going to want to drift onto that shortcut, bounce across. And now, for this section, you might think, hey, going on the roulette wheel should be faster, right? No, actually, being in the center is actually the fastest. And it also gets you more rings. So you're going to want to follow that each and every time.
This is great!
I don't think it super matters which of those 3 paths you take, by the way, for that section we just did. I just kind of did whatever I felt like on each lap, so. Yeah, just kind of driving through normally, didn't even use any Wisps. Well, not true actually, but you'll see what I mean. Anyway, here's where we boost. Because not only does it get you that straightaway a lot faster, but if you get the RNG where your path is being blocked by the chips, you can power through them. And the other way, best way to do the boost, at least in my opinion, is right there, because it's another straightaway section. Get you across it a lot quicker. Again, I don't know if that's exactly optimal, but if someone else knows a better way to utilize the Wisp, by all means, tell me. So now here, you definitely want this crystal box. Manage to throw the needle through there. Once again, we're sticking to the center.
Let's go! Let's go!
Royal Wisp our way to victory. And now, yeah, it's just doing your best to drift and just get to the end, and you should be good.
No time like the present.
And next up is Kraken Bay. This is known for being one of the most annoying ones. So real quick, for those of you who cannot or refuse to use DLC or online gadgets, because as you can see, I have boost character kit equipped. You can get basically the same exact effect by instead equipping Air Trick Bounty and Air Trick Expert. The only difference would be is if you're wanting to use a boost character like Whisper or Miku. That's it. So yeah, if you don't have boost character kit for whatever reason, those two gadgets will give you the exact same effect pretty much. So let's do this. This is also, I think, the one track in which I don't use starting boost bounty, which is basically essential for almost every time trial. And the reason for that is that the increased speed you get by having both ring game boosts is invaluable here. You want to boost jump at the top of these waves, if possible. Absolutely. To generate as much speed in rings as you possibly can. Stay on the inner path here. The boost rings are a trap, or boost panels are a trap. Do not go for those. Go up this ramp to avoid the tentacle. If you get hit by one of those, it's over. And, you know, you're going to want to keep jumping to generate rings as much as you can. Hitting these gates, or panels, is very, very important. Don't ask me the proper timing. I just kind of guesstimated it until I got a run where I could finally do it. But those panels will make or break you, I swear. Very, very important to keep your speed. And you're going to want to do your air drifting to keep your boost going. I thought the run was over because I missed that dash gate, but nope, trust me, you can still salvage it. Keep going. Gotta keep the momentum going. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is a very momentum-based game. Do not fall for the trap, do not go to the right path, keep going to the left, it is way, way faster. Gotta cross here. No dash panels this time, but doesn't matter. So now that we have all our wisps set, we can go on through here, ride our boost, and then just boost across. We don't have to worry about the air drifting anymore. Very nice little tactic for those of you who don't want to deal with it. And now, lap 3, same as lap 2, pretty much. The only difference is the tentacle will now be back on the left, so you're going to have to be a little bit careful about that one. Just keep generating those rings, keep flipping and dipping. And I don't know how I avoid the tentacle there, to be honest with you, but you know what, I'll take it. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going full speed. Careful. And here, again, I thought the run was sunk because of how I couldn't hit the dash panels there. But I was making good time, so I said, screw it, I'll just finish it out, have a new personal best, try again next time. But to my surprise, we're just going to barely make it. And bam, Kraken Bay done.
No time like the present.
Okay, so back to Grand Prix. Mystic Jungle. Surprisingly free, despite this being an annoying track for some new players. I'm using my typical build here. Didn't have to do anything special for this one, as you'll soon see. Alright, so this is the only time we're going to be using the left path, so you definitely want to grab the Wisp here, first and foremost. And as per standard, you're going to want to prioritize grabbing as many of these rings as you possibly can. Getting to 100, super important, as always. I know I sound like a broken record, but it really is true, and it bears repeating. So, we've got our 2 Wisps now. We can save that other one for later. Keep on going along these lines. And now, important cut right here. Very good, but an arguably even more important cut is coming up right here, actually. Drift to the right, boost across here. To get to this right path, that saves you a bunch of time. even if you're bumping walls like I just did. Much faster than the left path, and we're going to be focusing on that for lap 3 as well. As for this water section, what path is fastest, I actually don't know. I just stuck to the right out of habit. So maybe it's faster, maybe it's not. Someone can inform me, maybe, possibly. I would love to know myself. Anyway, we only have one wisp right now, so we're actually not going to take this cut. Because, again, the cut up here is much more important, because it puts us on that faster path. So we're going to take it once again. Not bumping the wall this time, because I learned my lesson. And now we need this Royal Wisp right here. Barely got it. Drift on over. Watch out for Orochimaru here. He will bite you, and that will kill your entire run. And now we just have this one last cut to go. Right into the dash panels. And even though I missed that last one, we're still making great enough time to get the S.
No time like the present.
Apotos. This one takes some practice. And I had to think slightly outside the box, as my usual drift build slightly different here, as you'll see, but I made it work. So fun little quirk I want to show off about Apotos that I didn't know until I started doing testing for this. Did you know that if you are dash boosted on this path, you can make it to this dash panel? I did not know that until I started doing these time trials, and I did it completely by accident. So yeah, as long as you're boosted in some form, the game will push you up onto that upper platform and give you the dash panel. Very important. And you're also going to want to get used to air drifting here, because you want to go across the plane sections as quick as possible. And also, very important cut here, this grass, you might not think it, but it really is. So that's why we're going to use one of our wisps there. And as per usual, get one little boost off. Now we can grab this wisp, get ourselves a level 2 boost over onto the top again. And now here you want to cut in as close as to the wall as you possibly can. That saves off more time than you might think. And also gives you access to another wisp. And by the way, yes, it is faster to just cut across the right here, rather than going through the dash gate. Grab our wisps. Once again, cut through this grass. And now for lap 3, wherein the second half of the lap is different from the rest. But once again, we're gonna get up on this top here, and again do a really sharp cut here. There we go. Yeah, don't go for the royal box that spawns over there on lap 3. That is a trap. It will kill you all of your time. We only need this one last wisp in order to succeed. So that is to cut across this grass here. That said, don't get greedy about it. Be sure to exit the grass at the appropriate time, or you will lose way too much time. And just try and hit as many of these rings as you possibly can, and you will make it.
No time like the present.
Alright, so let's go on to the dreaded Wonder Museum 1. So, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sorry, I was just making sure my sound levels were still good. Anyway, this one almost broke me. And the secret to it ended up being something I did not expect, and that was Air Trick Expert. I'm going to be doing a lot of explaining at the start of this. Let's get to it.
My neighbor,
Wonder Museum is hands down one of the most annoying time trial tracks in this game, especially if you're still learning. And for Accel Cars, especially the very beginning here, is the absolute most important part of the whole track. You need to get almost every ring here. If you have anything less than 60 rings by the end of that, restart. I'm not joking you. You need these rings to get through this. Make sure you hit your max right here, too. And, oh, but the important part's not done yet. You're also going to want to do a drift here to get a level 2 boost over the dash panel, so that way you can get a level 2 trick, and therefore keep your momentum going over the hill. If you fail any of that entire sequence of events, restart. It's over. I'm not exaggerating. So grab the Wisp. And now here's the cut we need to take. I took that slightly inoptimally. I could have gotten a level 3 boost, but whatever. I somehow managed to save it. Go to the right there to grab that Wisp. Get our another drift boost. And we're going to save that one at the start for the end, since it's the easiest to get. Again, you're going to want to get as many level 2 and level 3 drifts as you possibly can. Now that we have our rings, you're going to want to stay on the most innermost circle as you can. However, boost in order to grab that Wisp there, so you don't lose too much time getting it. Once again, drift here. Get a level 2. Level 2 trick. Keep our momentum going. Don't lose a second or it is over. Yeah, our level 3 tricks off the jumps too. Very helpful. Drift across this section here to get level 2 boost into the Wisp boost. Yes, very important. And now that we can, now we do this. Thanks to Air Trick Expert, we can take that hill path, and it is faster than just going to the left or the right. We're on the final bit here. Grab this. Now I know technically I could have just driven underneath the dinosaur, but technically wisping across the grass there is very slightly faster. And I don't know how. And like, that's the part where the ghost data will mess up. I actually did not get hit by the dinosaur skeleton there in the actual time I was doing this. That would have actually killed the whole run if I had done that. So don't go thinking you can get hit by that and you're fine. No, you need to avoid that. And I actually did when I actually got this time. Anyway, yeah. Grab that Royal Wisp. You definitely need it too. Or even just a regular Wisp would probably be fine as well. Do the tricks over here. Boost as soon as we land. And we just barely make it to the end.
No time like the present.
Oh! You have no idea how many times that took. So many times. So, 2 of the worst with Kraken Bay and Wonder Museum are now over. Let's go on to Crystal Mine, which it takes some practice, but it actually can be pretty fun once you're used to it. So here's the build I used. It's my normal, usual one that I do for time trials. In case you guys don't know these gadgets by memory, this is Starting Boost Bounty, Dash Panel Mini Boost, Level 2 Quick Charge, Ring Game Mini Boost, and Ring Game Boost. So, just so you know. So Crystal Mine has a shortcut that you absolutely need to take as an Accel car. No ifs, ands, or buts. Other car types I think can get away with not doing it, but us Accel cars, we got it rough. That said, the first lap's pretty easy. You basically just drive through the stage like normal because you're just trying to grab rings. So yeah, just follow the ring lines, including going on the upper path here. If you don't get 100 by this ring here, don't worry about it too bad, because once you hit this dash gate, assuming you've got the panel bounty like I do, you'll have it. You won't have lost too much time. You're fine. We'll grab the Wisp here. Now, if you want, you can take the shortcut here, but me personally, I prefer to save it for later. Grab the other Wisp here. And now another important cut is actually right here with this one. That saves a surprising amount of time, too. That said, it's not as important as the other shortcut, which we'll show off very shortly. Because now we are required to take it for laps 2 and 3. I know there's also another really big skip you can do on this map that's unintentional, technically. But I didn't know about that when I was recording this, so I didn't do it. so anyway, right here, you gotta angle your drift just right so you can boost across, hit the bulldozer, and land on the track. It takes a lot of practice, but once you get used to it, it's really fun to pull off, actually. But yeah, don't get frustrated if you're stuck on it. Just calm down, keep trying, you'll get it eventually.
I did it!
And now we have that one last wisp that we saved right over here. Because me personally, I think it's the easiest one to get, so just boost into it, grab it. I know some routes do, if they're making decent enough time, they will grab the crystal box over there, but me personally, I didn't want to risk it when I was doing this run. So I just avoided it, angled myself right, boosted across. And I know I hit that wall, which is suboptimal. I probably could have got a better time if I didn't do that, but oh well. And here I missed one dash ring as well, which also didn't help, but I was making good enough time to where it didn't matter.
No time like the present.
Alright. Ocean View, aka Seaside Hill. Again, I don't know why I had ring range up equipped. And I think this is another map where I could probably optimize it if I wanted to, but oh well. Maybe in the future. Alright, so we're going to start by following these ring lines. We're going to avoid that wisp at the start for now. Once again, the easy wisp I like to save for later. Because, you know, they're easy and I don't have to stress about getting them at a later date. This course also has a shortcut that you absolutely need to take, and that is this one. It can be very, very tricky for new players. I know I made it look easy, but even if you take it suboptimally like I did, where I kind of bumped something there, it saves way more time than just driving normally. Anyway, we're going to grab the wisp up here, and this is the most important cut on Seaside Hill here. Again, even if you take it suboptimally like I just did, it saves a ton of time. But now we're going to grab this wisp. Made sure to get that 100 rings there. Again, I could probably, if I did it now, I could probably do this track a lot cleaner. So, my advice for this shortcut coming up is to let go of the gas as you're going over the hill, and then just as you land, immediately drift. That's the best way I could think of to land that properly. And as for the wisp that's there, it will definitely help if you do grab it, but it's not necessary. Anyway, boost over here. Now that we have the wisp up top, we can stay to the lower path, which means that we can take this shortcut way easier. And with that, you have the general flowchart to make lap 3 pretty easy. Just keep up with your level 2s and 3s and you're good, pretty much. Grab the wisp there that we've been avoiding. Stay on the inner corner here. And once again, let go of the accelerator when you can, and then just drift across. Yeah, learning how to let go of the gas or just tap it is very important skill in this game. Grab Royal Wisp there. Jump across, which is technically inoptimal from what I understand. And now we're just gonna boost on over. And then we just use the Royal Wisp, get across, and we're good.
No time like the present.
Alright, Pumpkin Mansion. This is another one that gave me a huge headache, and I'm going to do my best to explain to you what went wrong with me. So, as you can see, level 3 drifts, very important. Off-road bounty, very important. You cannot go without them. You have been warned. Here we go. So, it technically doesn't matter super bad whether you go left or right first. The important part is you get the wisp along the way, and you get your drift off here to go as quickly as you can. You're also going to want to be able to grab as many rings as you possibly can along the way. I know we have off-road bounty, and you might think, hey, that'll give us a crap ton of rings. And while it does, you definitely want as many rings as possible because of just how this terrain is laid out. I avoid that wisp there because it's easy to grab, as long as you know what you're doing. And now here's where this gets tricky, because you have this ghost here blocking your way, and he can easily screw you over. And you need to keep in mind to boost yourself out of that drift at just the right time so that way you don't lose speed. If you keep drifting in the boost state, you will run out. Alright, so now boost across this here, go over here, and you don't want to cut that corner. Not worth the risk. Even if you hit the ramp, that's a serious time loss. So just going across the regular ground, much safer, much quicker. So now that we've done one route, we're going to do the other one.
Let's go!
Now, fun fact, you don't want to hit these chandeliers, because if you do, that causes the big chandelier at the end of the path to fall. And that will block you off from getting this wisp right here. So, yeah, if you're ever wondering what causes that big chandelier to happen, that's what. Once again, we got to avoid this boo. Just barely did it that time. Boost out of the grass. And then we just drift on through. I took kind of a dangerous turn there, but I just barely make it out of the grass, so we're good for now. Again, handling on Accel Cars is not exactly the greatest, even with Silver's help. And here, again, it doesn't really matter now which path you chose. I just did right just because I felt like it. So, hit the dash panel gate, but be careful not to hit the chandeliers. I accidentally hit one there, as you can see. That one now falls. But we already have the wisp, so it doesn't matter. And now we're going to drift our way across the invisible road here. You definitely want that level 3 boost, so that way you can get the airtime to grab the Royal Wisp. And now we're just gonna take this final path here. And again, I take kind of a dangerous turn. And I thought that ramp meant the run was over, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I just barely managed to save it and get there just in time.
No time like the present.
Whew. Alright, so now that we've got a couple more sets of those down, let's go on to Golden Temple. I actually really like this track. Oh, and for this one, as you'll see, I decided to go with both Air Trick Bounty and Dash Panel Bounty. I don't know if you exactly need those, but I mean, both, you get benefits of both on this track, so why not? But yeah, this one's pretty simple. It's basically just driving good throughout the entire track, and you'll get the S rank. So, boost across. Be sure to grab all the rings you can. We're going to save that wisp for later, because it's the easy one. And now we just drift along this path, hitting every single dash panel we can, and collecting all the rings. The exception being that one right there, because just drifting along the inner edge is a little bit faster. Grab this wisp here. And now here's where I technically do this a little suboptimally. Because I try to cut the corners by leaping over them, and yeah, technically that does save a tiny bit of time. It's actually a lot safer and more practical to just stay on the inner part and just drive along. But anyway, jump and get that ring, and then boost across here for me to save some time. So, for that final boost, that's just what I do. Apparently, it's more efficient to boost when you're on the water section, but if, again, it may not be optimal, but it does work. And that's the point here, that you don't need to be super 100% pro player in order to get these times. So, Second verse, same as the first. I jump here for the ring boosts, and now again, I just try to jump across the corners. But again, it's if you can angle yourself right, it is technically slightly faster to just boost while you're turning during the entering of the water section, but I just opt to boost across the final stretch. Alright, so now we have this wisp. I boost into it because this is a straightaway, and it's like the only straightaway on the entire map. So I figured the boost wisp would be most optimal there. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just what I found works. And then from here on out, it's basically all the same. Just trying to keep you under control with the water. And I guess I should mention that it's during these water sections where you really want to get used to Accel tapping, where you just tap the acceleration button and not holding it with all your force, because otherwise you will slide out of control. But anyway, yeah, we just Royal Wisp our way across, and boom, we're done.
No time like the present.
Magma Planet. This one is going to test your ability to drive the plane. So, assuming that you're willing to get used to air drifting, on Sonic Speed, Magma Planet's actually pretty easy. Supersonic Speed's a different story, but that's for another day. So, definitely want to get through these rings for sure. And it's here where we're going to want to charge up our level 3 boost to keep our momentum and go through going through the gate. Now, plane path, faster than car path, believe it or not. And I also technically do it suboptimally here, but you can still take those gates and be fine. You just have to be used to charging up your gauge to full and being able to get these wisps on the way. Again, I like to boost during these plane sections, so I have to do as little air drifting as possible. Get across. Now, if you're willing to air drift, it's technically more optimal to boost during this section here, which is a straightaway, but I didn't opt for that, and hey, it ended up working anyway, so. But yeah, same as the first, we just want to drift. Again, I thought the run might have been over here because I accidentally missed those gates, but I don't know why. I just thought, you know what, let's just drive it out anyway and see what happens. So, going across. Level 3. Drift into the gates. And now, yep, we boost here. I don't know if it's faster to go left or right, by the way, when it comes to that last little section. That the magma dragons are going up and down. I just stuck to the left because. So, maybe right's faster? No idea. But I do know the plane path all the way is fastest for both the start and end of this. Alright, avoid the lasers. And you want to time your charges to angle yourself at just the right angle you want, like to grab this. And I'm surprised that counted as a hit for that dash gate, actually. But anyway, here's where I opt to save the final boost for the straightaway. There we go. Hitting both panels on the way, and just barely make it. Well, before the wisp ends. The time I actually made pretty decent, if I remember correctly.
Like the present.
Alright, Hidden World. This one also is probably going to take some practice, but once you get used to it, it's really not all that bad. As you can see, we've got Dash Panel Boost equipped, like the full one. There's a good reason for that. Alright, so we're starting immediately out in the plane. And for this first lap, you're going to want a dash drift boost in the plane. And that's why we have the dash panel bounty, because 10 rings per dash ring, very nice. Alright, here. Avoid the shortcut at first to grab this wisp. And now we're going to go left to grab another wisp. Very important. We need these. And we're going to avoid this wisp here because of how simple it is to get. I don't know if left or right here is more optimal at the end of the track. I always just go left. It's out of habit. If right's faster, my apologies. Anyway, as per usual, we're boosting because I don't like air drifting. I don't know if boosting on the plane is the most optimal, but it's what I do, so. And now, the only real difference here is coming up. We're now going to want to take the ramp shortcut. And instead of going right, like the course seems to want, boosting straight through here is actually faster. And we don't need that wisp right there for the rest of the course. So we're fine avoiding it. Now we grab this wisp. Be careful that the Pac-Men don't eat you. And of course, hit the dash rings when you can. Now that we're here, we boost across. And now here's where the Royal Wisp spawns. So you're going to want to drift across to grab it. And I'm pretty sure you know where we're about to use this. So with that, the rest of the course should be free. Dash on through. Saving us a bunch of time. It runs out right before we hit the gate. And we just drive to the end and we should be golden.
Finish! No time like the present.
Alright, back to Grand Prix. Urban Canyon has a shortcut that if you want to do it optimally, you need to do a technique called snap drifting. When I was doing these runs, I did not know about snap drifting, so I went through it without it anyway. So yes, it is possible to S without that. Let's begin. We're going to start off by angling ourselves to the right here on this big jump. This is also why we have Air Trick Bounty equipped. So we can get some rings off that, and now we're just going to follow the ring lines to get as many rings as quickly as possible. Name of the game, as always. Grab these. Be very careful to angle yourself to the left so you can grab the wisp there. It's one of the more annoying ones to get. And there's also a wisp over here to the right. Grab that too. And you want to, again, as I said during Rainbow Garden, you kind of want to air dash boost towards those gates or maintain your charge through them, either or. And here's the big important cut for wisps. Across this grass. Once again, we're going to pre-angle ourselves. So that way when we hop over here, we're on perfect alignment to get this wisp. And now second big cut right here. Saves a good chunk of time. And allows us to get a level 3 boost. Very important.
Let's go!
I took that super inoptimally, but it ends up working out in my favor anyway. Grab this wisp, be very careful. We're now loaded up for our final lap. Cut across here just like before. Once again, align ourselves with the inner wall. Boost across here, and here's where the new shortcut opens up in lap 3. Technically, the only way to get through that without bumping the walls is through snap drifting. But again, I did not know how to do that at the time of this, so I just kind of took ramming into the walls as I had to. Get all these dash panels, grab that Royal Wisp. And now we're good for the final cut. And with that, we're good with Urban Canyon.
No time like the present.
Market Street. This one's all about pathing. Pathing, pathing, pathing. And also off-road bounty. Alright. So you might be thinking, off-road bounty, what off-road is super significant here? Believe it or not, it's bigger than you might think. And it's right up here at the beginning, technically. You're gonna want this Wisp, and boosting across this off-road right here will get you your 100 rings. And that's the fastest way you can get the 100 rings on this track. Or at least that I could find, so you definitely want it. Now, here, left path supremacy. Always go left. Always, 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 always. No exception. Even drifting here, left path, left path, left path. And that's your basic blueprint for the rest of this. With the minor exception on lap 3, you'll see. But that said, instead of cutting across here, because we don't need the bonus from off-road bounty anymore, we're going to save it for later. So once again, we're going to charge over. And then we're going to save the Wisp here for this cut. Which, I took that turn really badly, but assuming you don't futz it up like the klutz that I am, you'll save way more time during it. So, did you know that if you're boosted, you can just land right over here like that? You don't need to take the upper path. A lot more convenient, in my opinion. But yeah, that shortcut right there that opens up on lap 3, most important shortcut in this track, absolutely. So now, once again, left path supremacy. We're just going to angle ourselves properly, get the ring boost bonus from all these, and cut across here. Make sure to hit as many dash panels as you can, and just make it.
No time like the present.
Alright, so, Coral Town. Once again, we got dash panel mini bounty and ring air trick bounty. Gonna tell you right up front right now, I do not take Coral Cut. Will it guarantee you the yes? Yeah, most likely. But I wanted to prove that it could be done without it. Because yes, I did know about it before getting this time, so. So, if we're not doing Coral Cut, what is the fastest path? Good question. For a long time I thought it was pure right, like the line would suggest, but no. It's actually Blue Tunnel here. From my testing, yeah, this did seem to be the most consistently quick pathway, especially with the ring lines. And we want to make sure to grab at least one Wisp on the way. I prefer that one because it's the hardest one. Hit this dash panel, and then big major cut right here. And that's lap 1. All done in one big flow. Now, are there any variants to this pathway? Not on lap 2. We're going to avoid that wisp for now because, again, it's a simple one. We'll grab it on lap 3. And now we're going to want this one. And now we're going to want to hug the inner wall since we have all the rings already.
Let's go!
In order to just be able to hit this shortcut again. And once again, cut across here. Alright, lap 3. Here's where some slight variance occurs, I think. Yep, where we go to the right path. So, since we have the means of doing more shortcuts, right path is faster, so we can cut across here.
Let's go!
Land right onto the final part of the track. And now we're going to want to take that warp ring that's opened up, now that it's lap 3. And grab this crystal box. So that way we can boost across, hit these rings, and be on our way. And that's Coral Town done.
No time like the present.
Oh, next up, another one that's super annoying for most people, including myself. Blizzard Valley. Off-road bounty, ring game mini boost, drift kit. Hopefully it'll become apparent why these are all necessary. Alright. We actually do want the wisp right at the start for once. And after that we can start ring prioritizing. However, not to the fullest extent possible, because our first wisp cut is actually right here. And getting this right is very tough on Accel Cars, especially when you're slippery. But if you can let go of the gas at the right time, you can angle yourself just right and not lose any time when drifting back onto the main road. Here, you're going to need to take both paths eventually. I suggest starting with the right path, though, because it's a lot easier to hit, and it's the slower of the two paths. So, going up here to grab this wisp, cut across here, and now we've got another wisp ready for the next run. And of course, yes, get your one last boost right there, as per usual. Alright. We're gonna need to do stuff like that. Again, it's annoying because you're sliding all over on ice. The mini traction that's innate to Accel Cars doesn't do anything. But this wisp, we're actually going to save for later. We're not going to use it right there like we did last time. Again, we're going to do left here because it is easier to align ourselves. Now here, let go of the gas. As you're going over the hill, and then just drift left as you land, and you should be safe about going on the lower path. Stay to the right here, so that way you can drift, grab that, and now you can safely take this cut here. I found that doing that is much more consistent than trying to do the mid-cut again. That said, if memory serves, we're going to need to do it here. Which, it's tougher than lap 1, but it's not impossible. And as you can see, our thing's wigging out. I assure you I activated the boost earlier than that. And even though I didn't optimally get it, it is still enough to grab this Royal Wisp, which is good, which means we can take this cut across the right here. Make sure to hit these that dash gate. And once again, you're going to want to let go of the gas in order to land over on the left path. And we're going to use this Royal Wisp here to do one final shortcut across this grass. And with that, we should be able to make it.
Finish! No time like the present.
Ooh, Radical Highway. It's so cool. There's a few different ways you can do this one, but if you want to just copy my loadout, there it is. We're going with Air Trick Bounty because of the big old jump at the start of the map. But I can see why some people might want Dash Panel Bounty, but I'll explain later why I didn't go with that one. So let's get to it. Fun fact, by the way, Radical Highway is actually my favorite track in this game. I love doing this track. It's fun. Alright, once again, gotta prioritize them rings. We'll save the list for later. Also, doing this saves time, dropping down to the track below. Even if you bump the wall, it's still better than just doing the full drive around to the left. Once more, prioritize the rings. And look at those speed lines. So, when it comes to this split right here, technically the right path is faster. But the left path is a lot safer because this shortcut right here where you take all these dash panels, it's necessary for the S, but it's also incredibly jank due to this game's physics engine. So any more consistent way I could find to do that, I just took it. Drift here to grab this wisp, we now have 2. And this right path here, we're going to be benefiting off of those ring game boost gadgets. And now here, when it comes to cutting corners like this, which you definitely want to do on Radical Highway, here's a free tip. You want to drift and then boost. You don't want to boost and then drift. Because boosting and then drifting actually kills your speed a little bit. Whereas drifting and then boosting, you're going at max speed and you're also doing tighter turns. So little tip there for you guys. So now we can get the wisp right here. And once again, we're going to go up that left path, even though it is slightly slower than the right path. And yeah, landing on top of the rail can be annoying and keeping yourself aligned. Especially if you have Dash Panel Bounty equipped and the speed boost makes you start winging all around due to the game's physics engine. That's why I didn't opt for it, but hey, if you want to go for it, go for it. Once more, right across the grass. And then lap 3 is where we do a very tiny variant to our routes. And it's also where I'll show that I technically did this level suboptimally, but I decided to keep the replay anyway, and you'll see why. So, we grab that final wisp now that's at the start that we had earlier left behind. Now we're just going to try and stick to the inner wall here as best as we can. And now we go right, because the Royal Wisp is right there. I boost into it, and I see if I can land here. The physics engine flings me to the left, but I somehow stick that landing, and I thought, dang, that's sick. I'm keeping this replay now. So there you go. Even though I didn't do it optimally, that's why I kept this one. We're just going to boost here because it's the closest thing we have to a straightaway. And now we have the Royal Wisp left over to just go across the grass. There you go, that's Radical Highway, my favorite track in the game.
No time like the present.
Alright. Last up on this Grand Prix, Chao Park. This is the track that will make you learn to let go of the gas, or you will suffer dearly for it. So same build as with Radical Highway, I do believe. Let me just check real quick. Yes, it is. So let's get to it. As per always, you're going to want to hit as many dash panels as you can, as long as they're not too out of the way. And right here, those sections are where the trick bounty really comes in handy. When it comes to the split, believe it or not, the air path, like this, is faster than the left path. Don't ask me why, couldn't tell you. So be mindful if you're drifting on this little section, grab the wisp, I know it can be a little disorienting and tricky for new players, but the more you get used to it, the better you'll be. Go around here. And I decided to just burn one of the wisps on this straightaway here. We now grab that one there.
Let's go! Yeah.
And we're still going to stick to the right path. So here's the thing about this little section coming up. This is where you're going to have to learn how to let go of the gas at times, because otherwise, as you're drifting around the bend here, you're going to fall off the edge. So learning to let go of the gas or to just tap it in order to try and keep momentum, very important skill to have in this game in general, but especially on this track, for sure. And it's all thanks to that bend right there. And as you can see, the ghost state is kind of wigging out now, but oh well.
I did it! Full power!
I don't remember why I decided to boost right there. I just remember that I did. I don't know. Weird choice from me. But I'm sure there's a more optimal section where you can use that wisp. But hey, I mean, it worked. So, get drifty over here. I know I missed a wisp box, but that really doesn't matter, because we can grab a royal wisp by taking the water spouts here, by jumping into the first one and letting the one carry us. And now, as soon as we land here, we activate the royal wisp and just boost on through. And we make it.
No time like the present.
Let's go back to some CrossWorlds. Let's start with Steampunk City. This track, if you didn't know, is covered in dash panels. I don't know why I took ring range up on this one either. I know that's a running trend. But you might get better results by just taking straight up the 2-slot dash panel bounty rather than the mini one and then this. Maybe, possibly. But anyway, let's get to it. Alright, here you're going to want to stay on the upper path, grab these rings, and also grab this wisp that's hiding up under this pipe. And now, quick path, right over here. Staying on this and drifting along it. And then falling up here to follow these rings. And also grab this wisp here on the left edge. Now that we're armed and dangerous, we can just go along the inner walls here and just keep drifting close to the intersections in order to save time. Boosting right there actually is optimal. I didn't just burn it just so I could grab another wisps. That's the closest thing that this course has to a straightaway, I think, really. And it's also not worth it to burn on the plane sections. Not real. Well, maybe. It's debatable. I decided to do it, but I could see some people being like, oh no, just dash boost. But, yeah, no, I decided to burn my wisp there. Against my own better judgment. But, with that, lap 2 is pretty much the same as the first now. So, we're just going to drift along the inner edge here. Burn another wisp there. Boom. Okay, now that we don't have any wisps, we take the dash gates. Give us just that little burst of speed. And we're not going to take the shortcut that time because, hey, look, Royal Wisp on this path now. And we're going to need that. yeah, other than that, it's just kind of the same as the other two. Except now you had that Royal Whisk giving you a little bit of a boost across the rest. So just drive the rest of the track like normal and bang, you're good to go.
No time like the present.
Alright. Dragon Road. Shout out to my friend Troy. This is one of his favorite tracks. Air Trick Bounty. Very important here. And as I have learned from some other people, shout outs to them, you know who you are. If you're willing to do DLC or online gadgets, boating kit is pretty good here too, apparently. But anyway, let's get to it. So yeah, big jump right at the start. This is where Air Trick Bounty really comes to shine. Getting a whole bunch of our rings right at the start. Now we're just going to want to stay within these lines as best we can. Now that we've got our 100, we can grab the Wisp free of charge, which is good, because we're going to want to boost across this right here. And when it comes to driving along the water here, charging up to level 2 is fine. Charging up to level 3, you get a little bit too much airtime, so you're kind of losing speed in a way. But with level 2, you're getting enough of a boost and just minimal enough in airtime to where it's not really a waste that you're doing that. So alright, second verse, same as the first, mostly. Except now, with this Wisp, we have access to another shortcut we can take, maybe. Grab this Wisp too. Grind along the dragon's back. And I do not opt for the cut there, actually. Okay, so I'm slightly misremembering this recording. Not bad. But, just like before, you get a little boost, go across this cut, which is the most important on this track. And now the Phoenix is going to change the direction of fire, so we just kind of hop along the other path now. Yeah, it's a very hard drift, this final one, but the closer you can manage to stay to the wall, or the inner wall, the better. Alright. Same old stuff, staying on the inner walls. Do not go for that crystal box there. That is a trap. You lose way too much time going after it. I've learned that the hard way. So with that out of the way, one last boost across this shortcut here. And now it's just pure driving for the rest. And with that, we should be good.
No time like the present.
Alright. Holoska. This is another one where boating kit come in handy. But also, drift boost kit. Just like with Kraken Bay. And this one I opted for starting Ring Bounty, except for Ring Game Mini Boost. But Ring Game Mini Boost will do you good here too, just like in Kraken Bay. It's just personal preference. So, let's get to it. Look at all them penguins. Shout out to Enchan. So, just like with Kraken Bay, this one's going to be all about keeping your momentum going. Not only through gaining the rings and the flips and dips and jumps through the boost character kit or the air trick gadgets, but also using your boost at the right time. I recommend doing it on this ice slide here. Because you get, or at least to me, it feels a lot faster. And now as for here, again, charging up to level 2 is fine. And staying on this inner wall to the right is actually the fastest path for you. No, you don't take the ramp, you don't take the dash panel gates, nothing like that. Just stay along the right edge. And then just keep on driving. And look at them speed lines. And of course, you know, you're getting all these extra boosts thanks to the air tricks you're getting. Very nice. So with that, you basically have the whole course mapped out now, pretty much. Boost along the ice sled. Keep dash jumping along to abuse air tricks along the way with the water section, and yeah, you pretty much have it set, assuming you don't majorly screw up. And of course, you're going to be forced into the air anyway by the waves, but what can you do? Alright, so, now we're without wisps. But don't fret, you're not going to lose that much time. You don't need the wisp for this ice sled, because you should be making good time here, assuming you've been maintaining your momentum in rings. But yeah, this boating section, I think, is the make or break when it comes to Holoska. And is also a reason why Boating Pit works so well, for those of you who are willing to do DLC gadgets. And now we just drive along to the end. And assuming, again, we don't make any major mistakes, we're good.
No time like the present.
Alright. Back to Grand Prix. Donpa Factory. This one can be a little tricky for newbies. And that's because of one very specific shortcut it has. It's not as bad as some other ones, though. Once again, saving that first wisp for later. You're going to want to stay on the outer edge here because it offers more rings. And rings are the name of the game. Be careful not to get slimed. That will kill your entire run. Do not grab that wisp. We're going to save that for lap 3, actually. It's much more efficient to go after the other ones first. So grab this wisp here. And now we're going to want to drive along the inner edge here, because we should have full rings, and that should also allow us to grab that wisp, and it's also faster. So, major cut here.
Let's go.
And lap 1's fairly normal. Lap 2 is where we start varying things up. So grab the wisp here this time. I tried to boost so I wouldn't hit the wall, but to no luck. But now we can do the inner wall and grab the 5 ring, so it's not that big of a deal. Once again, we're going to save that wisp for lap 3. And we're going to use a wisp here to cut through this grass, also a major time save. Now we're going to want to take a hard drift here to get to this shortcut. Angling yourself can be tricky if you're getting used to it. But after a little practice, it's not that bad. Be careful about the cars here. They will hit you and kill your run. It's one of those things where you're going to want to get used to letting go of or tapping on the Accel to adjust your angle and speed. Because those cars can and will hit you if you're not careful. Alright, so now on lap 3, these conveyors activate and you'll be going way quicker. Obviously, you're going to want to stay on them as much as possible. But we're going to get off them for just a slight bit to grab this wisp. So that way we can boost across this grass here. And then we're going to have to angle ourselves to grab the Royal Wisp. Again, that's a part where the Ghost Data messes up. I did not get hit on the way over on the actual race when I was doing this. I assure you. So. Because, yeah, if that slime hits you, it's game over. But now we just use the Royal Wisp to boost across this last bit, and we should be home free.
Finish! No time like the present.
Aqua Forest, I love this track. You might think Boating Kit is the name of the game here, and I could see it working, but I found Drift Kit to be a lot more useful, actually. I shall show you why. Once again, prioritize rings. Again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record for a lot of these, but I do feel it bears repeating for the general philosophy of this. Take the upper path, grab this wisp here. Very important. And now the biggest cut in this track is right here. Cutting across that grass with the boost wisp. Major time save. Arguably the most important shortcut on this track. And here, driving's a little tricky, but just do what you can. Jump to get that 10 ring. And we just want to stay along the ring lines to try and get as many of these rings as possible. And I do believe I do my... Oh, no, I don't on this one. Okay. So, grab this wisp now. Yeah, don't be greedy about your drifts either. If the best you can manage is level 2, just roll with it. So, once more, going across this upper path gets faster, and then just cutting across the grass here. And of course, boost jumping along this short gate here is also a major time save. You cut off a big stretch of the track. And staying along the inner wall as best you can when driving around here. Water sections be finicky. And then you just drift to the end here, get your level 3. Alright, slightly different path. We're gonna go to the right this time. Grab this Royal Wisp. As I believe it's the last wisp on this course we can even get, so kind of important. Now, you might be tempted to take the Warp Ring here that's opened up now that it's lap 3, but that's actually slower than just dropping down and taking the grass cut again. Yeah, the grass cut is that big of a time save. So, stick to it. And now we just cruise to the end and we're golden. Aqua Forest really isn't that complicated.
No time like the present.
Eggman Expo. Oh boy. Now, you might not think it, but the boost character kit or air trick strategy really does do wonders here. Now, this is another course where I've technically done it suboptimally, but it's what ended up working for me, and hopefully it'll work for anyone else who's having trouble with this one. Let's go. We're going to ignore the wisp at the front. I know some will recommend that you get it anyway, but me personally, on Sonic Speed, I think it's perfectly fine to just get these rings this way rather than using the boost to break the box open. Especially since you can get level 3 drifts a bit easier on an Accel car that way. Ignore that wisp 2 back there, keep getting these rings. Power on through. Here's where we're going to want our first wisp. And we're going to want to boost right on through. Boost jumped over these boxes, and now here, I keep jumping over and over again, and that's technically not optimal. you're going to want to just stay along the inner wall. And then maybe just jump towards the end. If not, just escape the boat gate with your charge to keep the momentum. But, hey, with Boost Character Kit, it ended up working out for me, so... Anyway, align ourselves with the Wisp here. Now we can grab it, and stay along the inner walls when drifting.
Let's go!
Grab this Wisp too. We're now locked and loaded for pretty much the rest of the course, for the most part. And yes, you will want to drift boost over this section. I tried doing my usual thing of just doing the Wisp boost through it. Not as effective, unfortunately. Couldn't tell you why. Again, I do this kind of suboptimally, but hey, it worked out, so... And then, of course, you know, you Wisp boost over that corner to break through the boxes. Big time save. We're once again aligning ourselves to the left here. Get a good drift boost there. And just barely make the dash gate. Barely. But hey, I'll take it. Or dash panel, sorry. I don't know why I keep saying gate. I mean, anyway. Now it's just kind of the same on home, but with one tiny little variation. That not only being the Eggman robot there, who's trying to smash us, but also the Royal Wisp is on this route too. So you're going to want to hold your charge once you get to a certain point, so that way you can jump and grab it. And now that you've got it, you just boost on through the boxes and off to the finish line.
Finish!
And that's Eggman Expo.
No time like the present.
Free tip for that water tube, by the way, since I kind of forgot to mention it. Yeah, no, that's arguably the most important part of Accel releasing or tapping in the game. So try to get used to it, or you're going to be sliding all over the place in there. Alright, Kronos Island. Very fun, also incredibly free. I got this S rank without even trying. It was my very first S rank. And hopefully you'll see why. That said, this replay is actually not the first replay I ever did of getting the S. After getting it, and after getting all the other S ranks, I returned to this one to see if I could do better. I did way better. So, Air Trick Adept and Air Trick Bounty. Very cool here for the jump she'll be doing. But Kronos Island, there's really not much to say. You kind of just drive it like you normally would. Following the ring paths, grabbing the wisps as you go. The two important cuts are this one and the one at the very end. So that's where you're going to be using all your wisps at. Following the ring path here in order to get more rings. We now have our 100. And now technically, more optimally, saving that wisp for later and then grabbing the one off to the left here would have been better. But I didn't think about it when I was doing this one. Boost across this shortcut, very important. Even more important than the previous cut. And yeah, you'll be making amazing time even with just that. We're now fast enough to where we can get this wisp up here. And with that, it's basically the same for all 3 laps. There's really nothing getting in your way for the other 2. So just as you land, boost. Gun right across there. And now here I'm pretty sure just sticking to the inner wall is faster than taking the dash panels. But I kind of just do it out of habit. Plus it gets me a level 3 boost, so like why not, you know? But I'm sure if I were to keep practicing at this track, I could get my time down even lower by a whole bunch. Just by keeping stuff like that in mind. But yeah. Just knowing when to angle yourself to boost and drift saves so much time, especially on the shortcuts. Anyway, you're going to want to veer off to the left here, because So now we have our Royal Wisp. Grab it, and it's going to be the final wisp, or at least the final wisp I use in this replay. So, and we're definitely going to use it right here at this one. And now you might be thinking, but Dream Sword, what about that other shortcut? Are you going to get that other wisp? And the answer is no, I forgot, but I have a solution for that, which I will show you when we get there. But, yeah, for now, we just keep driving along as usual. And now if you were being optimal, you would go off to the left here to get that final wisp to use for the final cut. But I was not being optimal, and I forgot. So here's the thing. You're going to be making so much good time. You can just drive over that that rough patch there and still make it anyway. And I made it with like 5 seconds to spare on that S rank. It is so easy to get an S rank on Kronos Island, dude. So easy. Anyone who's trying to get their very first S rank, or even just one, Kronos Island is the one I recommend. Northstar Islands. This one was very tough for me. But if you know how to go about it, it's not the worst, but it is still kind of annoying. Again, off-road bounty. Very important here. And as you can see, we have level 3 quick charge for once. Because level 3s are very important. Northstar, probably, arguably the most important they are in all the tracks. Maybe? Possibly? But, so, alright. We do want the wisp right at the start. That said, we now stick to the inner path because it's faster than doing the dash panels. Don't do it even for the sake of range, you'll just make enough anyway, thanks to off-road bounty right here. And look at that. Now, normally you can get 100, but as you might have noticed, I did that little bunny hop there. I don't know why that happened, but it did cost me a ring, so it's whatever. But anyway, now grab that wisp there. And here, you're going to want to flip onto one of the upper paths. Left or right doesn't matter as long as you get one of them. So that way, you can grab another wisp, make a cut here. And there's your 2 primary cuts throughout the entire track. And also our little dash boost right there. Get that level 3, cut across here. We're saving that wisp over there for later. Don't worry, we're not completely ignoring it. But yeah, hitting these dash panels here. I don't know if hitting all 3 saves you time, or if it's better to just stay on the inner wall, but hey, it worked for me, so. Or hitting all 3 did, I should specify. Anyway, now going on the opposite path, so that way we can get the other wisp. And we're actually going to ignore the cut this time. Just this time. Alright, now we want this wisp. And then we can do a hard turn to cut across here. And now that this has opened up, you need a wisp to take this shortcut. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it's a huge time save. You definitely want to take it, and it'll put you right in line with the crystal box here for the final wisp that we need. I took that suboptimally, but I lucked out in that it knocked me into the 20 ring, so I didn't lose too much speed. And we can just Royal Wisp our way across to the finish line. With how badly that final bit flubbed, I thought for sure I had lost. But I somehow made it, so goes to show you can flub a tiny bit on this one, even if it is harder to do. White space. I hate this one. Drifting, essential. You need it. Let's go. Alright. We want the Wisp at the start this time. And this track's all about level 2s and 3s, so do your best to keep drifting as much as you can. Anyway, lower path, much faster than upper path, and that's true of all 3 laps. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So, little cut you can do here as you're charging up. You can cut this little corner by hopping over it. That said, and also hopping over right here too. If you even so much as nick that purple goop, restart, because it kills your time majorly. So boost across here. And now, get another little boost there. That's your general rhythm for lap 2 as well. However, we can stay on the inner wall this time because we have an R-ring, so that'll save you a little bit of time too. Gonna cut this corner once again. Do not nick any purple goop, otherwise your time is dust. We can now boost across there for a shortcut. Here's the other wisp we left behind. Boost across here. And now lap 3 is where the entire track changes. And we're going to make good use of all the wisps they give us here. Once again, lower path faster. Stay on lower path. Grab this wisp as well. Stay on the inner wall. And now we drift and boost to make it go faster. And also gives us room to grab this Royal Wisp, which we will desperately need for this final bend. Use the first wisp to cut across the purple goop here. And now there's a shortcut here you can risk taking, but I decided not to, and I just decided to boost my way around the corner. And all the way to the end here. And that gave me barely enough to get the time.
No time like the present.
Back to CrossWorlds. So, Galactic Parade. It's another one of those ones where for new players it can definitely be annoying. But once you're more acclimated to how things work, it's really not that bad. Here we're using both dash panel and air trick bounties, because there's plenty of opportunity for both. And the way this one flows kind of surprised me a little bit. You'll see. Alright, you definitely want to drift into the dash panel. Believe it or not, that saves you precious time. We're going to want this wisp right here too, so we can boost across this section. And you might have already noticed that the replay data for this one is all kinds of wonky, which is why I'm going to try and do my best to narrate through it. Because right now, we're just getting our rings. So, fun fact. Outside of one very specific bend, these robots will always shoot in a straight line. And that is at that bend right there. As you saw, I did not move. It shot off to the right. The timing of it's really weird, but if you can get used to it, you will be safe always. Otherwise, you're going to get frustrated. Here's a surprising thing, too. You're going to want to take this path to get this wisp. Very important. It's also faster, I think, actually, weirdly enough. But anyway, once again, getting used to wisp to cut through the shortcut here. And now that we have our rings, we can stay on the inner walls, or inner corners, whatever term you prefer, to be faster driving here. And of course, you know, we're saving certain lists for later. Can't store all of them. And true to form, I just boost across the plane sections now. Or at least that final stretch of one. The beginning one I still drift boost through. Grab the Royal Wisp here. Even if you don't optimally go back into the cut, it's still faster than going the long way around. Grab the last wisp over here. And now we just boost our way to the end, basically. And that's Galactic Parade.
No time like the present.
This is my most hated time trial out of all of them. Dinosaur Jungle. As you can see, I had to forgo Mini Ring Boost for level 2 Quick Charge. Then we have on Air Trick Adept and Air Trick Bounty. This is not the entire problem of why this track sucks. There's a very specific reason why this track sucks. Let me show you.
Look at this! I'm gonna push it! I'm gonna push it to the limit! Danger, danger, danger! I jump right under the water, whack, hit me in the head, scar me.
So, we're starting off with the water. Get used to jumping while at the top of this waterfall. You're gonna need it. As well as jumping right here in order to grab that 10 ring. We want all the rings we can. It's also why I avoided that wisp right there, even though it's arguably more annoying than it's worth. But another reason is there's 2 wisps along this road that we should also absolutely grab. Avoid the dinosaurs so you can get some airtime, get a trick here. Now here's where the bullshit really starts. You're going to want to drift over to the left so you can not only boost across this dirt, but then quickly drift over here and waste another boost to go through the cactus. That is so much harder than you have any idea. Or at least for me it was, especially if you're newer to the game. Oh my god. The shortcut within a shortcut is insane. And I lost so many runs trying to get that right. So, now we have to grab the other wisps that we left behind, including that one. Be careful to avoid the dinosaurs. Their hitboxes are odder than you might think. Grab this wisp. And once again, boost over here. So, you can do it in one boost. That shortcut within a shortcut. Jump here, by the way, to get the Royal Wisp. But it's way easier to waste 2 boosts on doing it. And I did that throughout the majority of my practice and whatnot. And also, by the way, I did not bump the wall there when I jumped. This is probably the most broken replay I have. It's kind of insane. But as you can see, it's saying I boosted here on the straightaway when I very much did not, because I still have the Royal Wisp. But anyway, since we do have the Royal Wisp, we can now go here. We don't need to take the shortcut and a shortcut now because we've been making such good time off the first 2 attempts. And we can just go to the end. Oh my god, I never want to do this course ever again. Ever again. So stressful. So stressful. If anyone wants more detail on any of that, just tell me and I'll reply to your comment on whatever you need to know, because oh my god, that course is a thing. Sweet Mountain is very much less stressful, thankfully. Typical build. Let's do this. Ring priority, of course. We don't want to take that upper path, that's a time waste. Yes, there's a wisp up there, but it's not worth it. Unfortunately missed that wisp there, but don't worry, there's another way to grab it. You definitely want to take that inner path on the water section though. Saves time. A bunch of time actually. That said, if you missed that first wisp, you definitely need the second one because right here, that's the cut you want to take with your wisps, more than any other. Be careful because there might be candy flying right at you if you're going through the dash gates. And that's the general flow. Grab the wisp. Boost across. Be careful. Gonna need this wisp here. Once again, you're going to want to stick to the inner path. Saves a bunch of time. And also, do not take the ramps. They kill your momentum because you end up hitting the donuts. Just kills your time all around. So. Alright, so now we're going to use this last wisp and then the royal wisp in order to clinch victory during lap 3. So far though, same as before. Just doing what you can to stick to the inner path. And now that we're here, crystal box spawns. And we've got all we need. Drift along. Do this corner cut. And now that it's run out, we can go through here and then just boost to the end. I could have arguably used the Royal Wisp a lot sooner, but I don't know. I just wanted to wait out the boost from the dash gate, I guess. Alright, last of the Grand Prix for now. Minecraft World, also very easy actually, once you know the trick to it. Again, I feel like this one could be optimized a little bit more. For this one, I'd probably replace range up with Air Trick Adept, maybe. But either way, pretty free course. So, you don't need to follow the ring path that closely with this one. Like, you generally do still want to, but it's not super duper required. Now, trick for that little section there, you don't need to air trick off the bends. You can just drift off them and you'll be fine. That will mess you up more often than not if you don't know that. So, grab our 2 wisps here, and you're going to want to memorize where this thing shoots its flames. So it's right, and then by the time you get over here, it's left. So yeah, just avoid those. And now there's 2 major cuts here, depending on your angle, that you can take. Either this one right here, which I don't opt for because I can never be on the inner line enough in order to utilize it. And then there's also the cut right here at the beginning, which is the one I opt for. Both save pretty much similar amounts of time. So, but yeah, see here? See how I just do like 1 side turn, and that's about it? Maybe 2. If you try to get excessive with your air tricking when drifting off these, you will go flying, so be careful. Grab the wisp here. And yet again, choose your poison for a shortcut, either this one or the one at the very start. Either or works. Me personally, once again, one at the start's easier, so I just go for that. Now we're gonna need another wisp here to break through these spider webs. Grab the crystal box, do a wide turn so I can grab this other wisp. Now we're going to take this. Boost the Royal Wisp here so we can stay on the inner line and also grab that box.
Let's
And now here, rather than go through the gates, it's actually much faster to just boost along the intersection. Boost again to grab this wisp. It's the last wisp box up the track. The last one we'll need. And here, angle yourself inward and just boost. I technically messed up the shortcut there, but it didn't matter. Made it anyway.
No time like the present.
Bikini Bottom. Arguably the most infamous time trial in this game so far. And it's also where I discovered the beauty of Boost Character Kit. So yeah, if that wasn't a signal to you enough, I did not do these in order. I kind of jumped all around based on like how hard some of them were. But yeah, the Kraken Bay method or the Holoska method, whatever name you prefer, works for Bikini Bottom too. So. So, staying on the outer line to grab rings and the wisp first. And we're going to immediately come up to the toughest part of this, I think. Now, at some point or another, you're going to have to take that shortcut. It's up to you to choose when. But I decided to go for it for laps 2 and 3, so I stay on the outside to grab the wisp first. Boost jump off the top of the waves, of course. And again, I technically do this suboptimally. It's better to just hold your charge when going through the gate so you can just do a level 3 boost right out of it. But I didn't know that at the time, so... Anyway, the optimal place to use the wisp is not actually that cut at the end. Actually, it's right here at the start. That saves, even if you don't do it optimally, like I just kind of fudged it there, and you don't stay on the inner wall the entire time, it saves so much more time than the cut at the end does. Now, it's hard to describe this shortcut. The best I can tell you is to try and slow down and just aim yourself as best you can, and pray. Like, just hold left as you drive, and hope for the best. The fact of the matter is, you need to nail that shortcut in order to get this S rank. No ifs, ands, or buts. And yes, hitting the dash panels on that drift bend up to the final bit does help a ton. And as you can see, yeah, the replay data for this one is kind of broken too. But hopefully you can get the general gist of what's going on. Well, angle yourself at the pier, land, hold left, and pray. And just make it somehow. That's all I can tell you. Wish I knew more than that, man. That shortcut sucks. But now we're on the last stretch, and here's where you will actually use the final wisp on this cut. And then you just pray that you drove good enough to make it to the end.
No time like the present.
Alright, last of the Grand Prix one so far, Pac-Village Maze. This one's very drift heavy, but it's not terrible. It's actually kind of fun. So, first and foremost, you're going to want to know the fastest path through the starting part, and that is this upper corner here. If there's a faster way, I've not been made aware of it, but that's just what I've found works best. So, again, if someone knows of a much quicker method, let me know. We've been avoiding wisps so far, so we can get these pellets. Again, want to get your 100 rings as quick as possible. And then, you know, just try and keep on Pac-Man and follow him with your drift kit. get those level 3 boosts where you can, and absolutely grab that wisp, especially if you avoided the previous ones. Because you definitely want at least one for the cut at the end. Now, second verse, basically the same as the first, except this time we're going to be grabbing the wisps we passed up last time. So, I'm going to grab that one. Drift on over here. And then drift on over to grab the second. Pac-Man now goes along a different route, because we're in lap 2. At least I'm pretty sure it's a different route, I could be wrong. But either way, of course, follow him just like before.
Let's go!
Now, final lap.
I did it!
At first, it's not that much different. But then you get to the maze, things go kind of crazy. Make it across here thanks to the level 3 boosts panel. And if I recall right, I had just barely made it across too. But now the maze, where Pac-Man will lead you somewhere totally different. And you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled, because otherwise it's very easy to miss something important. So, stay on him. And I believe we're coming up to it soon. Yeah, crystal box right here. Be sure to grab that. I decided to just boost here because it's a straightaway. And then Royal Wisp boost to the end once we land. And with that, we're good.
No time like the present.
Alright, now for the final CrossWorlds. White Cave. This one's super annoying. And Boost Character Kit is great here. And that might be confusing to you because this is not a water level. But trust me, comes in more handy than you might think. And one big way that it comes in handy is actually right here at the start, because we have this big jump. So you're going to be generating a ton of rings. And we're going to go along the ring path first. We don't necessarily need to grab that wisp there, but if you somehow can, yeah, go for it. And now that we've got all our rings, we grab this wisp and we're going to have to take a shortcut all 3 times. That can be kind of annoying. And that is this one right here, dropping down onto this path and riding along it. A lot more annoying than it might seem at first, trust me. But anyway, just keep driving like normal. Don't worry about it. As long as you keep in a decent momentum, you'll make a good time. Now's where we start worrying about shortcuts. And also, what is with this ghost data? The lighting just wigged out. Looks kind of cool, though. Anyway, riding along these vines here to keep this path. Grabbing the wisp along the way. And so here's the best advice I can give you for taking this shortcut, and that is to let go of the gas as you're passing over that boost panel, because you'll gradually slow down, and you can turn enough to land on here. And hopefully, once you land, you can hit the accelerator and just keep going. And this section is also the best place to use your wisps. So that way you can fly by the roots jetting out of the ground. Hopefully safely. And then with lap 3, you just repeat what you did with lap 2. And hopefully you'll have gone fast enough for it. But yeah, this lighting glitch is weird. This is the first time I've seen it. It looks cool, actually. I don't think I'd want to do an actual race in it, but yeah, let go of the gas. Just kind of follow the flow. Make sure not to get hit. And now we're home free. Just use our last boost and we're there. And I think you can tell it's super glitched there because none of the tricks went off or anything. That was
No time like the present.
interesting. But whatever. Cyberspace, my favorite CrossWorld. Usual build, not complicated, just a fun track. So, fastest path. Off to the left here. Through these dash rings. We're gonna avoid the Wisp at first to get the 20 ring. And we're gonna also avoid the shortcut there for the same reason. Gotta get those rings. Get the Wisp. And now we're cruising. Grab the second Wisp. Now keep in mind those Wisps are not going to be there lap 2, so don't get used to them. I boost there to make my turn a lot sharper, because otherwise it's very easy to careen off to the left and lose a lot of time. Other good place to use your boost Wisp though is right here because it's a straightaway, as long as you know what you're doing so you don't get hit by any cars. Now this time, though, we're not only going to grab the Wisp on the upper path, but as soon as we land, we're also going to drift over this way. Similar to the Ocean View shortcut, the best advice I can give you is to let go of the accelerator as you're approaching, and then just kind of, with practice, adjust for time. About all I can tell you, sorry to say. Right, same as before. Look out for all these trucks. Had no idea Silver had made so many enemies in the diesel industry. Alright. Cruising along. Make sure not to hit none of the spike balls. Make sure to also grab that Royal Wisp. That one is easy to miss because of where it spawns. But it is important. See what I mean by that slowing you down? Yeah, those cones are no joke, but I unfortunately had to kind of eat it there. And now we'll just boost along the straightaway. It lasts us for a good chunk of it, and we can make the time.
No time like the present.
And now for our final course, Digital Circuit. This one, it's not hard, but you need to know the trick to it. Let's put it that way. Usual build, nothing fancy. Let's show you what I mean. So, rings. You're going to want to stay on this upper path, especially if you've got the dash panel bounty like I do, so you can capitalize off that. Keep generating all the rings you possibly can, because there's not many other opportunities to get them. Yep, even through this.
This is great.
So, with that, should have them all. And now, drift to grab that. That's a very tight turn on an Accel car with how poor your handling is. Probably easier on like every other car there is. But with that, we can just drop on here and use the boost on the straightaway here. That's generally the best spot I've found to use it. Maybe there's a better spot somewhere else. I don't know. But it worked, so I stuck with it. Now, lap 2, there's only one difference from it and lap 1. Other than us grabbing that wisp, you know, when we avoided the other one the other time. And that is at the split up here towards the end. It does change. However, despite that, left path is always the fastest. I don't know why, but in my testing, left path always gave me faster times on each lap than right path, regardless of how they change. So, maybe it's just me, I don't know. Grab our last wisp. Do not go on the lower path. You might see the crystal box down there and you might get tempted. No, it's a trap. You lose way too much time going down that way. You'll be just fine with this one last wisp. So with that, fly right on through the rings. And just like with lap 1, stick to left path supremacy. And then just make your way down to the finish line. Bam, 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 and we are done!
No time like the present.
And there you go. S ranks in an Accel car on every single course that's available at the time of this recording. In the future, I will definitely do a follow-up video with the 3 last DLC courses. And I might go back and optimize a couple of these other runs now that I've watched them again, and I kind of noticed a few ways that I could do better. Maybe, we'll see. And now you might be wondering, well, what about supersonic speed? I'm working on it, okay? The process is slow, it's difficult, it's a little stressful. But eventually one day, yes, if it's possible, I will do supersonic speed on an Accel car and everything. Bro, that's right. So, before we close out, I want to say, to the guy who kind of forced my hand on getting this video out early, you know who you are, or when she was being this video, assuming you somehow made it through this whole entire thing and you're still watching, you, sir, have insulted my entire family line by thinking that you could be the first to do this challenge, by daring to think of an idea that I thought of and no one else in the history of the world could have possibly ever done in this video game. I challenge you to a duel/race, sir, to determine who is the true king of Accel machines. Spoiler alert, it's me! Please don't hurt me. Anyway, with that all being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this little trip down all these courses. Hope you found it helpful if you yourself are struggling with these S ranks in general, or you're an Accel machine stan like I am. And if you have any questions, comments, critiques, whatever, leave them down in the comments and I'll try and get back to you on them. So until next time, guys, take care.